everybody, and welcome back to The New Nasty Boys. I'm your co-host this morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you decide to watch or listen to this thing, Billy DeVore. And sitting next to me are a bevy of dudes. We'll start with the normal co-hosts.
Jake Paulson.
Chris Weir, what's up, Nasty Nation? Welcome back to the Fart Lounge. It's back down here.
There we go. And then welcome to the pod. Friend of the pod, you've heard him before. It's been a couple years since he's been on. Covers the Reds for the Enquirer. Make a lot of noise for Pat Brennan.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Whoa, thanks for coming, pal.
Oh, dude, my pleasure. My pleasure.
What do you think of the Fart Dunge?
It's unbelievable. The hand-painted artwork.
Yeah.
A lot of great relics. It's well decorated. It's an excellent backdrop for an excellent pod.
Oh, thanks, pal.
Anything beyond here, it's just rusty pipes.
Yeah, notice I said backdrop, not awesome room, awesome home in general. Just a backdrop that the viewing people can see.
Yeah, we've just been slowly taking copper out of the ceiling for when we need a few bucks.
To keep bankrolling this, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta, geez, all this space that's taken up on my hard drive, ain't free, I'll tell you that. Them cloud fees are crazy. As always, the show is, fuck me. Okay, we were so close to nailing the intro and getting it all right in the first swing. As always, the show is presented by Cincy Light. Cincy Light is a refreshingly crisp lager brewed in partnership with Cincy Reigns, benefiting student athletes. This easy drinking classic is the perfect way to celebrate the Queen City. Raise a toast to triumph that the red and black shall reign. Cincy Light beer is available year-round in 12 packs, 24 packs, which is the way to get it, and on draft. Cincy Reigns, the taste of all Cincinnati daddies. They have not approved that last part, but we're waiting on it. I think it fits.
Any week now, I'm sure.
They're going to love that phrase. It's going to be great. We're going to get so many residuals from it. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic thing for both of us.
Yeah.
So they're just going to find out
The
hard way.
The hard way. Yeah.
Really
okay.
For the tall boys, like the Cincinnati daddies,
Yeah.
Like tall boy cans. That's what we're trying to rebrand.
Okay.
Again, another thing they don't know about.
And they're really cool with whatever we want to do.
Oh,
so.
all right. Well, as long as that's the arrangement.
It is. They're just like, yeah, you stay on the pod. We'll try and make it happen.
Wow.
You don't
Wow.
CC them in any email.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, we've been working on our own bat funnel, like a beer bat funnel here in the lab.
No way.
That's why I've been taking out the copper.
Is that?
Gotta pay for all these.
Do you have a prototype?
Yeah, I got to pay for all these molds we've been getting.
Yeah, right.
And also like a t-shirt gun, but with an actual shots. Like
Yeah.
a patty gun, the shot to the face.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Shot.
a t-shirt gun. You can hit somebody from the nosebleeds down on the infield.
And then you can make their nose bleed from the impact. But we're trying to avoid that too. But
Start sneaking cans into Redzilla.
I've been trying to do that for years. They just won't return my emails. I don't get it. Maybe you can make some noise up there in the press box. Get this rolling.
I don't know if I have that kind of sway yet. I doubt it. I personally doubt it.
We'll get there. Well, this year, you've transitioned. Now you're covering the Reds and Bengals. You just got done with the draft.
Yeah.
Jake is a draft head as well. Mm-hmm. What did we think about the Bengals draft? I know it's the Reds podcast, but come on.
I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan. Just because of I liked picks 2, 3, 4, but we just didn't need a project in the first round, and that's what Shamar is. And he's oozing with talent, and hopefully he has a hell of a career, but I doubt that career is going to really get off the ground this season, and God, we needed someone that was going to produce immediately.
Yeah. When you select an edge rusher who has 4.5 career sacks, it's obviously a development project, and I think your first rounder, especially in the meat of the careers of Joe, Jamar, T, you want someone who can produce at day one, whatever that position is.
Yeah.
But I really like the Dylan Fairchild pick.
Yeah.
I think that was really sharp. And I even liked the Demetrius Knight pick, just not in the second round.
Yeah. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I just don't know if we needed to go linebacker there. I do like Demetrius Knight. He's a thumper. He's going to step up and defend the run, which is nice. He's going to pair quite well with Logan Wilson. He's a leader on the field. All of our draft picks are. They did the 2020 thing where they drafted just team captains.
Yeah.
The leadership was the name of the game this year. I also love the Fairchild pick. I was concerned when they went with Knight over his teammate Tate Ratledge, who was arguably the better guard, definitely the better haircut. But it makes sense they went with Fairchild because the new line coach is a jiu-jitsu master.
Yeah.
He's got wrestling background. Apparently, they just fell in love with each other, so to say, during the visit.
Yeah.
So it makes sense they went that direction. And in the third, it's fine value, but I'm surprised they doubled up at linebacker.
Yeah, that was surprising when I saw that come through.
Yeah.
I was like, I guess.
And I like Barrett Carter. He's great at coverage, but unless they're switching their scheme up, I just don't know why they took two linebackers with Pratt still on the team.
Yeah.
Unless the plan is to just outright cut him, which they could have done quite a while ago.
What do you think?
I really wanted to. The thing that kind of gnaws at me is I wanted to see the Bengals go with an interior D lineman. They didn't do that. I think this is obviously still a passing league, but we're coming off a Super Bowl where your league champion had as its number one weapon was a power running back. So I won't be surprised, and I heard people talking about it on TV down at Paycor Stadium. I won't be surprised if there's a trend toward emphasizing running backs in the next few years, just because of the season that Saquon Barkley had. Kind of running backs are being drafted higher.
Yeah.
Ashton Genty, who was the guy that went to Atlanta? Bijan Robinson.
Marion Hampton was another first round.
So I think we're seeing people kind of reinvesting in the running back position in the passing era of this league, and I just don't feel good about the Bengals' ability to stop the run.
It just got so expensive. You got to pay 2 to 3 wideouts to have an elite passing game, and that is not a great way to go about it when you're investing a lot of your funds, and the cap's going to go up, but so you've got, 53% of your cap in 2 wide receivers in your quarterback?
Yeah. And that's what
flashy way to win.
That's why, but that was also part of the upside of hiring Al Golden as your defensive coordinator. He's obviously been the linebacking coach for this team when they were very good, and he's known as like a really good talent developer. So if you've got all this money locked up on the offensive side of the ball, the blueprint then becomes, build out of the draft and develop those guys as quickly as freaking possible. Obviously, everyone's trying to do that, but I think there's even more urgency for the Bengals to do it because the defense is what was lacking.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Al Golden, their plan seems to be that Al Golden's going to coach these guys up, and maybe they can contribute in year one.
Yeah, and did it at an elite level at Notre Dame for a couple years, so he knows how to work with the young guys. So that's kind of what you're hoping for. It just has to work. When you put somebody in a has-to-work position, it normally doesn't always work.
It won't be hard to be good enough.
That's
this
true.
Year. The bar is low for improvement.
That is true. Yeah, same with this red season. Bar is low.
Come on now.
See how we tied it all back?
What's happening?
Hey, we did it, man. So, all right. So that was your weekend. You were at Paycor. How was your weekend?
Good. Nice and productive. Got a lot of shit done. Not too much fun, but got a lot of shit done I needed to get done.
You gotta do shit.
Yeah, and you gotta get it done.
Podcast. When I got my chores done. Hell yeah.
Kept it nice and short.
Yeah. That's short. Just like that grass you had to cut.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Brought it all back together.
This is edgy. Like the edging I did.
Hey! I'm edging now. Hey! There it is. There's the nasty. Chris and I had we had a double date on Saturday.
Oh, I didn't know that was it. I didn't know that was a double date.
Yeah, dude. It wasn't just me and him. It
Could have been a fifth wheel,
You could have been. Oh, they had 2 more chairs open. You could have sat down. We went to Soto and just sucked down. I had a couple martinis and a bunch of pasta. It's your first time there?
First time there, loved it. Probably one of the best Italian spots. They had a bunch of different foods. I stuck to the old fashions, which were great.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I haven't been drinking a lot the past week or so, and so that felt good to kind of indulge.
Oh, yeah.
Get it right, and had those nice big ice cubes.
Oh, yeah.
Which it's like, I'm going to pay so much for this.
Yeah. If you show up looking for an old fashioned and you don't even check, the price listing, and it shows up with the heat sealed
Yeah.
ice cube and the cherry drippings and all that stuff. If I'm remembering there, you just know. Oh yeah, this
Ooh,
one.
$15 ice cream.
Here comes a $25 old fashioned. 3 sips and gone.
Oh no, it's a twisted orange with a dark cherry. This is gonna be a $25 drink.
Oh, what's the house bourbon? 5-star. Wow. Oh, you can put lipstick on a pig.
The food was really awesome. The pasta was absolutely amazing. Like they hand make everything. You can really taste it. It was. I spoiled myself. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Had plenty of stuff to take home. But Billy, I got to come clean here.
What'd you do?
We may have committed a hate crime.
No.
Because we left the pasta dish. We left out the short rib that we took back home, and so we couldn't enjoy it. Which I know it's a hate crime against all Italians. So
I got to get this drool out the corner of my mouth. It's a anger drool.
I know. I'm sorry. I was really upset, and also it was a take-home food, so it is a moving violation.
It is a movie. So wait, what about the pork? You left the pork too?
We brought it back.
Okay.
The thing is, we didn't put it in the fridge. Yeah, so believe me, after a long debate, Lauren told me that I cannot eat meat that's been out for 2 days.
You know what? I would have ate it.
I know.
I would have eaten it too.
Yeah, Jake?
I absolutely would have eaten it.
Yeah. You should have just done it, dude.
should have.
Or she puts it in the garbage, like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to eat it. She walks away, and then you George Costanza get it out because it was just on top of the garbage. It's not actual trash food.
It wasn't in. It wasn't below the threshold.
Right.
It doesn't count as garbage. I
Bingo.
was pretending like I'm composting later at night. Just composting, babe. Why do you have like butter all over your lips? Just composting. That's all we're doing.
How'd you get panko in your eyebrow?
It was really dangerous out there. I had to compete with a bunch of raccoons.
I mean, they eat 5 stars. They get it. They understand. You know, Michelin has their star scale. Raccoons, it's just paw scales.
I come back with a bunch of capers in my beard.
Capers and scratch marks. Capers and scratch marks. Good band name.
Love it.
Pretty great. I went to the FCC match on Saturday. Did you get a chance to watch any of it?
I saw the highlights.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How about Danky, dude?
Yeah, really cool bicycle kick goal.
He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
He's just stacked too. When he took after doing that bicycle kick to taking his shirt off, he's just like, check it out. I got the training bra on, flex.
So before I came off that beat this year, I did cover a couple games. And one of the games I went into, everyone talks about like his home gym and his work ethic away from the field. Some of that conversation, not with him specifically, but some of that stuff just gets so old and tired to me. Like, isn't that what these guys should be doing? But he does it so much differently. I went into the locker room after they lost at Philadelphia, and he was on a stationary bike. And he wasn't just like limbering up on it. He looked like he was in the Tour de France. He was going so hard, and this is after he had just gone hard in a game.
Whoa!
They lost. I mean, this is what this guy is about. So, and I think that's what separates him. He had like the bicycle kick goal. I thought his first goal was really difficult. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of a quick snapshot off a save, a ricochet. Like that ball is moving all over the place. If he doesn't hit that the way he did, not only does it not go in the back of the net, it could fly up to row Z or hit off the underside of the canopy roof at TQL Stadium. Like that was a really tough goal too, and it won't. He overshadowed himself, so tough luck, dude. Try not to overshadow yourself, but he played a great game. What a player.
Yeah, Vander didn't have that great of a game though, but defensively they kept it together until those subs in the 80th minute, and you were just like, it's Sporting KC, this is what we're supposed to do. That one that squeaked in, you're like, whatever. But hey man, top of the conference, still in it for the supporter shields. That was awesome. Great. This isn't a football or soccer podcast, is it? Okay. No? Let's talk about the fucking Reds, huh? How about that? Woo! But first, the Arizona Diamondbacks City Connect jersey is leaked. I think it's pretty sick. It's not all purple, mostly purple. Are we into this? What do we think?
Yeah, it's dope, man. It's got that 90s feel. That teal, bring it on, baby. I think it's cool. And also, I think the the snakes as a mascot is a little difficult as an adult to get behind because it feels a little silly. Snake! Look out! They lean into it like a little bit with just like this subtle little teeth things on the A. So I think that's awesome. They get it out of the ballpark with this.
Hey!
Yeah, probably, I guess we're going to do the black pants. If not, that'd be a little silly if they didn't. But I think it's really cool. Really rad jersey, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they went white pants.
Yeah, but whatever. I think the
I think you
black
could. You have some versatility there. I know the idea won't be to have used versatility, but you could go white pants there.
You could, but wouldn't it be sick if they were teal pants?
And no, it wouldn't. I don't think. I think if there were black pants and you had teal socks or some combination of the purple and teal,
Stirrups.
which I'm sure Stance will provide that for them.
Sure.
But all these players now wear pants down to their ankles, so you won't see the socks. It'd be really cool if you had some. I saw a pair of stirrups in the Reds clubhouse. I forget.
TJ Friel wears them.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. He's been
Bob Castellini, too, for some odd reason.
tucks his Dockers right into him.
Oh God.
He's like, I'm just counting oranges.
Dude, teal shoes would be awesome. Like black pants, teal shoes. Give it to me.
These guys will have a field day with the customized cleats.
Lord-
they pair with these.
Lourdes Gurriel already has. He leaked like these purple high top Air Max cleats that are horny. They're like a lavender purple or whatever with some white that matches. It's real nice. What do you think?
I love it. I think it's great. Have they released the hat yet?
No, this is just the leak.
Okay, that's just the leak. God, I want to see the hat. I bet it's fly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume it's this sleeve. I bet it's that A on the sleeve patch.
What are they doing with the original style Arizona A sleeve? Like, what is that patch? That's not their sponsor patch, is it?
No, that's like their mid 2000s A.
Okay, I got
Yeah,
you.
that's an old. That's like a what is that? Neo vintage A.
They don't still use that?
No,
I think they have it on one kit that they have.
yeah, I can't remember which one.
I think it's just the standard throwback, the pinstripe.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Just the pinstripe.
Oh, the white and purple
Yeah.
pin, the OG. Yes. That A is still on there.
Yeah.
I'm
not crazy.
Well, I can also see them doing this as a patch hat or just like the sunburst that is behind there on the A.
That would look fly.
I want to see a purple hat. That's what I want to see. Purple noggin. Or not purple, I mean teal. That's what I was thinking of.
So this is, if I'm not mistaken, teams that are refreshing their City Connects this year were part of the first wave 3 seasons ago.
Correct.
Right? So which one is this replacing? Los Serpientes?
Yeah, that awful one.
Yeah, I wasn't into that.
I hated it.
You know, I like when you do kind of like Spanish speaking outreach with like Los Rojos. That was the Reds version.
Los
of that.
Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. But the Los Serpientes thing, that didn't smack too hard for me.
No, and it was just very vanilla. Like you just
Literally.
yeah, like a dirty vanilla. It was just like we need to clean the taps in here.
Can I just say one thing about
Please.
this? I think this is a really cool kind of. I think in terms of like brand uniformity, this kind of riffs off of their original purple and teal. There's obviously no like desert sand coloring in there, like some of their old school original Randy Johnson throwback jerseys.
Yeah.
But I think this plays off of that and therefore fits. It is somewhat uniform with the brand. Which I like that in these City Connects. You know, when you're like Detroit City Connect saying like Motor City.
Yeah.
That stuff is weird to me. I get it's the most. I understand, but it just I like when when these City Connects are somewhat in keeping with what has come before them.
Oh, 100%.
And you're not just going in a completely different direction and color palette and all that.
Keeping it more tethered to what was like a historical
It's a
thing. but
perfectly
brand of that idea.
Yes.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said.
Or like what you said with the Motor City, it's just like, yeah, the people who live there already know that.
Yeah.
We all know that. You're just
No one else cares. So, well,
one cares.
You're only going to wear them for home games, but like.
Yeah, exactly. No one cares. What I do love in here though is the snake scale texture going throughout the whole jersey. That is like what they started doing last year when we picked up on that, is the texturizing of all these jerseys, the little small stuff that's in with the material. And that is going to lend to a lot of really cool offshoot designs. No doubt in my mind. It's
Snakes
really cool.
alive.
Snakes alive, baby.
Yeah, and it actually does peel off and they shit. It's a multi-phase. It's going to come out of their pitching clock.
You'll see Torey Lovello have to sit guys on City Connect tonight because, Eugenio Suarez, he's molting right now. He's just got this big piece of back skin that hasn't fallen off yet, so we're just going to rest him tonight.
Yeah.
See what it looks like tomorrow.
He's out on the rocks in center.
Sunning himself.
Yeah, well, he's molting right now. Guy went 4 for 4 last
he
night with
did.
4 homers.
Yeah. And they lost.
And they lost.
No, they won.
No, they lost.
They did lose.
It's the second time ever in history that someone has gone 4 for 4 with 4 homers and then lost the game 8-9 to the Braves. Hilarious. But dude, good to see old friend Gino just pounding the ball like that.
Good vibes, baby.
Good vibes only. I mean, he started the year so hot, and then he was just like Gino for 3 weeks, and then came back and he's like, I'm Gino again. Let me hit 4 homers real quick.
Now he leads, I think, all the majors or the Nationals.
National
I think
League.
just the National League, yeah.
National League. Yeah, just the National League and homers. But hey, good for him, man. Just glad to see him crushing it. So, yeah. Well, there's the Diamondback City Connects. This is something I kind of want to get into because I think I might be on the other side of it. On Saturday, the Savannah Bananas sold out Clemson's football stadium. They had 81,000 people in attendance. Am I the only one who's just burned out from the Savannah Bananas and just don't get it anymore?
Apparently not. I mean, they're selling out 81,000. Yeah. No one gets it, Billy. No one. Stadiums of sold out fans.
Yeah.
Will echo the same sentiment.
No, I know. I just contradicted myself in like 6 words, but still, like, what the? I don't get it.
I think also too, maybe it's because we are in baseball season, so we already are getting our rocks off, like watching the Reds, and all this just kind of seems like a sideshow, which it is, but it's also generating a lot of interest. But I get it. Like, I look at that, I think it's like silly, fun, but we've been seeing it a lot for years, so maybe it's kind of the bananas are starting to turn.
Yeah.
They're getting a little brown.
We cut them up, turn them into banana bread.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, yummy. Mm-hmm. Jake?
I don't mind it, but I consider it entertainment and not baseball.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so it's such a separate product for me that it's not. I mean, it's just for the families, for the kids. You got the Globetrotters out there. You got the CFL dicking around. Like, there's plenty of room for other leagues.
The UFL.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I just don't consider it baseball to that degree. It's just entertainment.
I'm rooting for them, everything. I think it's great for the sport.
Yeah.
I think that it's been fun to watch the progression from, playing in their home ballpark, just the origin story of this. I don't want to call them an organization, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Phenomenon.
yeah,
Yeah.
the origin story of it to touring the minor league circuit, doing that loop. Now, last summer they started filling MLB stadiums,
Yeah.
and now it's like watching the progression of Taylor Swift's concert career. Think about it.
I know.
Way more commercial. It's kind of like the Blue Man Group.
Yeah.
Something now that was once like hip and cool and sounded something your parents go see in Vegas.
These guys are going to have a residency in Vegas eventually.
They'll play the Sphere next.
Yeah. No, look, I think I agree that this is not baseball. But I think it can be a gateway drug to baseball.
Sure.
And I'm definitely excited to see it here in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Like, I want that for the city. And what they do is entertaining. I think it's going to be, like, difficult to maintain that entertainment with what they do over a really long period of time.
Yeah.
But, we've seen entertainment products come and go and flame out. And, they seem to be at their peak right now. I also think it's cool. I got a kick out of seeing. I love ground rules of baseball parks and the different rules. So I love seeing them wedge a baseball stadium into a college football stadium where the left field porch is like 200 feet tops.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously, it takes away from the script if everyone's like ripping balls 400 feet to left field.
Yeah.
But that was cool to me.
Yeah.
That was cool. They got Dabo Sweeney involved, and people
Yeah.
don't like him.
Yeah, he prayed for the teams. And,
St. Dabo presided over the whole thing, so that was good.
Yeah. And then they just played like it was the Polo Grounds.
I like it, and I'm excited to see, like, on top of that, I'm excited to see, yeah, exactly. I'm excited to see them come to Cincinnati.
Yeah. So what can MLB learn from this? I mean, there's so much that they are selling out stadiums. They're selling out all types of venues now at this point. Well, I mean, I think that they've started to learn with the Speedway series where they're like, we're going to put a game in a racetrack. Is it going to be good for people that are actually there to watch the game? We'll find out. I don't think it's going to be.
Not for everyone,
It's going to
certainly.
get a ton of eyes on it.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So what else can baseball do to learn and to replicate from the Savannah Bananas to also somehow still keep the diehards and the loyalists, the people who are purists, on the fence, or just still like, okay, I can see this happening because of the evolution presented by the Savannah Bananas?
Do you guys mind if I butt in?
Go.
I had before I had any concept of becoming a Reds co-beat writer and covering MLB in a professional capacity, I was still just a baseball fan this time last year.
Yeah.
And about 11 months ago, I went over to London for the Phillies-Mets London series. They played at the kind of aging Olympic Stadium there, the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Stadium. And I think one of the takeaways from the Bananas is that one-off events like the Speedway Classic can be really meaningful. Like, even if it's a pain to set up, as I'm sure the Speedway Classic will be, as I know setting up the baseball field in what was originally designed as a track and field venue in London. Like, MLB is getting really good at some of these one-off events or like one series events. And I don't think like playing those games in Japan to start the season between the Dodgers and the Cubs are quite the same thing, because that was just baseball in a venue that we know and has hosted MLB teams. You look at what the Bananas are doing, one-off events play.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. And I think that MLB can continue to perfect that product, whether they're doing it in London or Monterey where they've played games before. This can be a great way to get people involved. And if you want to try a NASCAR crossover, again, gateway drug to Major League Baseball, let's go there.
Yeah, it's a huge market. It makes you wonder, too, like you want going to London and then the Japan series and all this stuff. It makes you wonder what is next. I mean, the Field of Dreams is one of the coolest events that they've ever done.
Yeah. And also, to hop on what you were saying about just making like these kind of like one-off events for just like a series or a game, whatever, that is such a rare thing in baseball because you're just flush with games. 162. So comparing it to other sports, there's a natural devaluing to the value that you get per game just because it's just how many games there are. But if you make them more unique, that is something, and also taken to a place where they don't have a major league stadium around a lot of people. So you're going to generate a natural interest with these people like, hey, there's a baseball game coming here or a baseball series. That's never going to happen again for who knows how long. So I think that's awesome to expose more fans to it. I think it's exciting probably for the players. And I think, to, again, compare that to the Bananas, they're just adding another level of intrigue to something that people already appreciate as, like the more hard-line baseball players can get interest out of going to see, like, watching them play at old stadiums back in Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything to expose fans, I'm in on,
Yeah, baby.
Sorry, you set me up there.
I know, we almost got out of it cleanly. But hey,
Nope.
all I did was carve the hole, you stuck it through.
Oh, I'm glad I went there, pal. Jake, you want to?
I mean, baseball has a long history of exhibition games that have been, I mean, Babe Ruth going over to Japan.
Yeah.
We're still seeing, I mean, that start kicked off the whole Japanese baseball scene.
Yeah.
To jump back to what you were talking about, that just reminded me of that. Like, the reason why we were originally doing is that to expose another culture to our culture, and now Japan has just ran with it. Like, there is no, I don't want to say that we shouldn't, but the need to expose the Japanese culture to American baseball isn't as necessary as, say, exposing some people like out in the West, or like the Dakotas or something like that, where they don't see baseball a lot, or going to these, these places where it's very few and far between. They get an opportunity to watch a professional baseball game.
Like Bristol, Tennessee is the perfect in-between between Nashville and Cincinnati. And you're going to go, well, we're kind of still in Reds country. Let's test and see if Nashville will be a market that can sustain a full MLB team instead of just having the Sounds down there. So this is a great way to test it, but it's just, I just wonder what they can do next. I don't see them going to football stadiums and doing the Polo Grounds setup. I don't see them doing that, but I don't know. I just don't know where it takes them, and it just depends on what they think can fit. I just don't know where I would even go next.
Historic parks, I like that, to echo Americana things. I wonder, dude, we're going to start setting stuff off at national parks. All right, first off, slip and slide to the Grand Canyon. Let's start off there. No, I think there's ways to even build temporary fields in certain locations to where...
Burning Man.
Yeah, Burning Man.
Now we're talking.
We're all the ball, dude.
Well, I can see it now. Baseball at Bonnaroo.
Oh, dear Lord.
Doc Ellis will be there. He's throwing out the first pitch.
I love it.
You would be there at Burning Man too. So yeah, absolutely. Old spots. Because they did that in Alabama last year. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm just sour on the bananas. I don't know. That's just a me thing.
Baseball, we're going to do this. We're going to have them at old Hooters locations, which are now the empty parking lots. We can make it happen.
And John Daly comes out and throws the first pitch at all of them.
Yeah.
He drives it off a tee, actually.
It's a DUI and a golf cart.
I had all these good boys. I didn't drink them. They were just giving to me.
Sir, we have 7 empty Long Island iced tea glasses in the back here.
You have Cajun shrimp in your beard.
That's how I do it.
That's how I do it. This is what you signed up for, right?
All baseball talk, baby.
It's too late now.
It's too late.
We're off and running.
Reds had a great week. No, let me rephrase that. The Reds had a good week. Okay? The Reds had a good week. They went down to Miami, dropped 2 out of 3. Then they went to Colorado and just swept the Rocks. Miami, people were like, man, they're going to be bad this year. They're still loaded with that young pitching.
They look good.
With Cabrera and Meyer and Alcantara on his way back. And the way that the players that they picked up, like Matt Mervis used to be the talk of the town. And now he didn't have a good run with the Cubs and is now down there just mashing homers. Connor Norby, a lot of guys that they've traded for to build a young core that has a future. And then you look at Colorado and you're like, what happened? Who is asleep at the wheel?
You feel really bad for those guys because they're professional athletes. And it's embarrassing. You can tell it's embarrassing that collective just lack of success.
Yeah, I mean, any type of professional team that has Nick Martini in left field, not great. Because we can speak from...
I was going to say, what do you mean?
We can speak from experience. What do you think? Yeah? No? You're going to...
It's rough right now. It would be rough to be a Rockies fan. Even if the organization was invested in this year's team, just how grim is the prospect of being in the same division as what appears to me obviously you've got the Dodgers, you've got a more established team in the D-backs, and the Padres have been they've on a little bit of a playoff streak, year over year. What is it, 2-3 years now? Maybe
they waited the World Series in 23.
2 out of 3. Well, yeah. I mean, and then you've got a Giants team in the ascendancy. So 4 organizations really trying, different levels of trying in terms of financial investment, but all in their own unique ways, really trying. So for Colorado, this is just, I think this season was, and it projected that way before the season started.
Sure.
So grim undertaking going into this season, and it's like they just quit and took their ball and went home.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that Dick Monfort this week came out and said, oh, yeah, we're never going to compete until there's a salary floor and there's a salary ceiling.
Yeah, well, I mean, the CBA is going to be negotiated somewhat soon, but they've got a couple seasons left to play.
December next year.
Most of this one,
Yeah.
That's such like a big tanking of your value for like just saying that, so like your fans or people are going to potentially go. It's like, oh, it's going to be trash, the product you're presenting. So I mean, I can see it like.
I mean, you can at least give them credit for being upfront about it.
Sure.
You know, like they're not pulling punches here, and
No. But they also are top 10 in attendance every year.
Beautiful ballpark.
it's cruel.
Yeah.
It's cruel. It's so cruel to these fans. It's a good baseball market. It's a fun place to watch games. I never liked seeing my team go there.
Okay.
I think like it's just like as crazy stuff happens in that ballpark.
Yeah.
So, but it's a fun place to watch a game. They have the views. They have all the stuff. Great amenities and food offerings. Like it's just a cruel thing for people who. I think it's generally a good baseball fan base.
It is. I have a friend out there who's a diehard Rockies fan, and it's just I feel bad for her, but like she knows what she's getting into. You either have to stick on board and bitch loudly, or you can get off board and bitch loudly. Like there's no in between. The last time that they tried, they signed Chris Bryant, and everyone's like, what? Why? And he even came out and said, like, I didn't know what I was doing. I wish I didn't sign here. So you just feel bad. But again, like I said, top 10 in attendance, you can't go out there and scream poor and cry poor when you see the numbers. So it's just difficult to believe that they're too poor to even try and compete on the level of the Giants. It just doesn't check out.
It's not like this is a small metro area either. You know, it's a massive city with a pretty big population, from what I understand.
Huge.
And decent like tourists.
Healthy tourism.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a really fun stadium. So and it's great to live in Denver. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's fun. You get to go to Red Rocks, go to some nice micro brews. It's just unfortunate that your baseball team is ass.
Yeah. Well, just like try a little bit. The rest of the division, literally everyone else in the division is trying.
It seems like way more of an excuse that I understand it's way unfair with the way things are constructed.
Yeah.
Financially, with teams as having more reach, but at the same time, they do have probably more in the coffers, like you said, to invest to make the team a bit more entertaining. And it's an entertaining stadium. Anything can happen.
Jake?
I mean, they've got to have a pretty nice TV market too, right? Like, there's no one really else out there.
Are they on Bally?
Are they? That's a shame.
Roots.
Roots?
Yeah,
Are they on Root
Roots,
Sport?
Roots.
That's the Mariners.
Well, Root goes everywhere.
Rockies TV deal. I have a thing that everyone sees and I can do it. They're with MLB.
Ah.
Oh.
Well, never mind about that.
Well, guess what offsets that TV deal? The attendance numbers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And they're always going to pull. It's a fun thing to do in Denver. Fuck. Like, no matter how bad the team is, good teams are going to come in.
Yeah.
And there'd be people you want to see. And it's a gorgeous stadium.
Yeah, Ohtani's going to play at least 8 games here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why the Mariners are always up there in attendance, too, even when they never make the fucking playoffs. Like, it's just a fun thing to do in Seattle. The stadium's right downtown. It's a gorgeous ballpark.
Yeah.
You're just always going to go to a game, no matter what.
And Great American Ballpark in July feels like a grundle. So it's very... it's difficult to be like, yeah, I want to go to the ballpark and sweat through everything. All of it. Yeah, so it's a tough sell where you're in Denver. It's like, oh, it's 71 and beautiful?
Yeah, imagine that.
Sign me up. Let's have 17 high noons. So, but I guess if you're a Rockies fan, have fun with Chase Dolander. That's about it, right?
That's what's weird is that they don't even have an identity
Yeah.
of like I can't even pinpoint like what players they're attracted to. It seems like they love outfielders that strike out all the fucking time. I don't know if that's a brand that you want. And then like you would think that they would at least lean into some sort of like identity with pitching. Like,
Yeah.
it's a tough place to pitch. Maybe you just go after command guys that are a little boring and you just keep the ball on the ground. But they just, I mean, they got power arms. They got crafty lefties. They're all over the map.
Yeah.
And it just seems like I don't know. Seems like they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, the best way I've had it described to me is that Dick Manfort is sitting at his desk, and there's a bunch of people standing there, and then he screams at them for 10 minutes, and then he falls asleep on his desk. And then he wakes back up 15 minutes later, gets all those people back into the room, and then screams at them to do the complete opposite. And that the phones aren't on, that no one's communicating. They're on an island within just trades and any type of development or any type of that type of situation. So you just don't, there's no progress because there's no plan.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. So I that was said to me, and then Dick Manfort stood up and walked out of the stadium. So when I was in spring training in Arizona, so yeah, pretty fucking wild. So, but yeah, anyway, we don't have to talk. We're not a Rockies podcast, are we?
I don't think so.
We might be now.
I think we're a pasta podcast.
Yeah.
Pat, favorite pasta dish?
I really like just like basic spaghetti and meatballs from Pep and Dolores.
Oh, good call. All right. See, I'm not mad at that. All right, now we're not a pasta podcast anymore. Who reigned this week? Brought to you by Cincy Light, the spirit of Cincy. Novi Marte went into the regular season starting in AAA, needing to fight for his job back at the hot corner, and I think he's earned it back. Okay, 350, 409, 700, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, 2 walks, 2 Ks with a stolen base. The way he's sealing it is shit. The way he's seeing it, is this the ceiling we've all talked about, or can this guy get even higher?
Dude, I think what we've seen so far, just first off, seeing him smile and play loose, that is the thing that you envision. And also, too, that was just kind of outside my scope with all the other things occurring right now. So this just seemed to just come out of nowhere, just his kind of resurgence, or just like his first real introduction to like just showing potentially what it could be. So yeah, I do think his ceiling could be higher, once he gets more plate appearances and gets his confidence in there. But he's playing at such a high clip right now. Whatever it is, I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Pat, what say you, partner?
Well, I think if you're a fan, you can be content with what you're seeing out of him right now, and really excited about just that. Because when this guy got cut from camp somewhat early in spring training, I think people were wondering, like, what does the future really hold for this guy? What is, can he really bounce back in a meaningful way from all the stuff that was there last year? And you're seeing that he can, and he's been so productive of late. And that's really been a boon, because I think he's been one of the guys that, if you're just taking this week by week, he's one of the guys that stepped up at a time when you're getting nothing from Jamer. Matt McClain is struggling at the moment. This isn't a deep team. Someone would have needed to step in and step up in order for this to be as productive a week as it ended up being for the Reds. And I think you can credit Noelvi with a big part of that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and something that we had talked about is that it seemed like it was mostly mental. Like he was getting in his own way, and it seemed like he had found a way to calm himself down, get back to those 2023 levels, get back to that 2023 swing, which we saw with both of those homers, one high and outside and one low and inside. What adjustments have you seen from his swing where you're like, man, that's dope?
It's just a nice, quiet, easy swing right now. And with his bat speed, there doesn't need to be a lot of moving parts. I mean, he can just rip that fucking bat head through the zone. It's beautiful. And I'm just glad that the organization was aggressive with him, like through promoting him up, giving him the shot. Yeah. He did not look great in spring training, and he only had handful of at bats in AAA before he was right back up. And I'm just glad that they showed that confidence in him. It clearly rubbed off. I mean, he's playing with a ton of confidence. He's out there laughing. Probably the happiest guy on the team right now. Yeah, deservedly so. And I'm just glad that they didn't let last year's struggles or even early this year get in the way of a guy that they truly believe in to bring him up, especially when the lineup was, abysmal before he got up here. So,
I mean, he had less than 25 ABs in AAA, but was murdering like we talked about it.
Exactly. And I think even the work that he put in that we didn't see, that didn't show up in the box score, probably, I'm sure, like you said, he got demoted early in spring, but I bet the work on the backfield that he was doing and putting in the time with the coaching staff, I'm sure that's why he got that quick call up.
Yeah.
Because they knew that his head was in the right place. He was putting in the work, and it was just a matter of time because he's a crazy talented dude.
Yeah. Did you see that out at Goodyear? Like when he got cut and sent down to minor league camp, did you sneak over and be like, I'm going to go see what this guy's looking like?
No.
Okay. Damn it, Jake. We'll have to send you. We're going to go back in time. We're going to strip more of this copper out. We're going to build this machine to get you back. Okay. But no.
Secret to time travel is copper.
You just gotta lick it.
Yeah, for a while.
You got to do a nice bow tie with every 2 feet. And then it just sends you.
Back in the 70s.
But yeah, I mean, they almost didn't have a choice in not believing in him.
Yeah.
Because you have the depth, but at the same time, not enough to float where it's like, if he's starting to hit, bring him up, and maybe that's just the jolt he needed. And then clearly that is exactly what he needed. Is he just plug at third every day now? Are we done with anyone else at third? Maybe a couple off days with Lux and Espinal, but now moving forward, 95% of your third base play is going to be Novi Marte. What do you think?
I'd be content with that.
Yeah.
That would give you maybe a little, maybe one too many bodies for the corner outfield spots, because then you're not taking McLean off of second base. So where do you put Gavin Lux?
Well, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Because I have something
Okay.
there. Okay.
Whoa.
I have something there with second base. So you can put Lux at third, you can put Lux in left, and you can put
I guess my point is, yes. Gavin Lux is probably his preferred position is second base, but
yes.
With Matty McLean, you didn't come into the season thinking that there would be a platoon or any kind of meaningful share of time there.
Okay, right. So then it's just Jammer Candelario is no longer at third base, I think, and I'm fine with that.
I don't see how you can argue against it.
That's a great point.
There's no way that you're going to, at least I don't think you should move Noelvi. Don't do anything to change what he's got going on right now.
Yeah.
And have him be the reason that you move him, and there's, like you said, there's going to be some days when, maybe they got, a night game followed by a day game. You're going to want to give him an off. Have Lux there, have Espinal there, and give Jamer a shot. But the more times you have Jamer in there, the less productive that you are. And you've seen that throughout the course of the whole season.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be your third baseman from here on out until things, change kind of drastically. But again, this is all just over the past, 2 series.
Past 2 weeks, Jake.
I mean, I'm sure he'll cool off at some point, but just it's more bullets for Terry to work the lineup however he sees fit. I mean, he gave Matt the day off today, which was sorely needed, and Lux was over there. And if he doesn't get the bat going, then I'm sure he'll get another off day coming up this week. And it's just more flexibility to keep hot bats in the lineup. We need the hottest hitters at all times to be playing. This lineup is not deep enough to do anything but that. So as long as he's tearing the cover off the ball, there is absolutely no reason to bench him. It's a long season. He's a young guy. He's going to get into a bit of a funk at some point. It's just going to happen. Baseball's fucking tough. But this just gives Terry more to work with. And, I mean, you could even Marte's got an arm. Slide him into the outfield every once in a while. I don't believe he's ever logged any innings there, but got to start sometime.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think these two said it better than I could have. No, really. This just if in the immediate term, like we're talking, I brought up Matt McLean's situation, and obviously he took a blow today. If this what we're seeing from Noelvi just allows, because when the season got started and the bats were just dreadful, there was no wiggle room. You just had to keep rolling out there, and maybe Terry was able to tinker with different things at times, but it was all kind of just not. Now it feels like there's maybe. I was thinking, how many bats do you trust on this roster today? Is it it's a couple more than it was maybe 2 weeks ago, I think is the point I was making. And that is really, really meaningful because it gives Matt McLean some breathing room to gather himself, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
It's not an immediate thing that you got to fix right now. Fortunately, the timing, Nuelve coming alive here is just coinciding with McLean getting cold. So that great for that.
Okay. I want to get to McLean. I got a whole bunch.
I know.
Okay.
But yeah. But no, overall, I think Nolte sticks at third. You leave him in. He's going to stay hot. He's not going back down to Louisville. That's just case closed. Third base is his. Seal it. If he needs an off day, you have plenty of options. So look at the guys on the bump. To start off, take Nick Lodolo. I'm going to just give it up for the fish on that one. And I'm also going to credit whatever happened out there to the fact that he just had a kid and it was out of his routine. And it showed in the start. He went 5 2/3. He had 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. That's not bad. It's not good. But it's also like, hey, man, I just made life.
Yeah.
I just came back. I flew down to Miami after probably staying up with his wife in a hospital room. You got to cut the guy some slack on that one. And I think we all are. Because how he followed it up today, dear mother of God, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, 9 Ks, all like at a no-no rolling into the 6th.
Yeah, hardly breaking the sweat, too. Looks so crisp. Definitely comparing the start against the Marlins against the start he had today.
Yeah.
I think he was a lot more confident with his stuff and didn't have much of a problem working the top part of the zone and going in on hitters, whereas I think the start he had against the Marlins couldn't really establish that and just wasn't as sharp.
Yeah. And something I noticed today, I think both of you, and we have talked about this, the shape of the curveball.
It's getting better, though.
It's getting better, but did you notice that release point today where it's starting and where it's ending, where it's starting now outside of the zone, then going back foot, instead of high and coming in going back foot? I mean, pairing that with the changeup and the way that the sinker is moving, that's gnarly.
He had the ball on a string today. I don't care if he was facing a 4-win Rockies team. He's going to have a quality start with that kind of stuff against the Dodgers, whoever. He was awesome.
He was incredible. I mean, this is the final form. This is what we wanted to see. I think this is the tweak. Again, back to that curveball. It's just weird watching it just completely transform between last year, him getting hurt, and this year.
Yeah, and I think, dropping the arm angle is going to help with health overall.
Yes.
So that's nice to see. And just, I haven't seen any of the tunneling numbers, but it's starting to look very consistent coming out of his hand.
Yeah, I'll have to baseball reference that and get you. I'll get you. Hey, you know what? We'll get to see it again next week. I'll get you that data.
All right, thank you.
You know what, buddy? I got that data for you. BYOD, bring your own data or whatever, or rain check on the data. You know, it doesn't matter on the data. We'll fucking figure it out. But no, that was just something I noticed with him today, and that changeup has completely changed the length that he's able to go to. So, if this is what we're gonna get the rest of the year, oh boy, this is exciting. Nick Martinez, not terrible, not great. 5 2/3, 2 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 0 whiffs on the curveball. That's where I'm concerned. Because he sets you up with his fastball, then he gets you with the changeup and finishes you with the curveball. When you can't get any whiffs on it, that's not good.
No, and he's not necessarily a strikeout pitcher, but it wasn't as though they were, off on his pitches enough to where he's getting those ground balls. So, yeah, he wasn't as sharp for this start. And, yeah, that is a bit concerning when one of your out pitches, or at least one of his better ones, they were kind of squaring up a bit. Mm-hmm. Or at least not swinging and missing. So it is something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
If you look at the chart, he was just all over the map again. He's just not dialed in right now. Yeah. The stuff is fine enough. I don't see a drop from last year, but he's just not. Just not sharp.
Yeah, the difference between last year, last year this time he's back in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen this year, where he's just going to have to figure it out, or, which we'll talk about later, someone takes the ball from him to take that spot. But the control, if he does not have control, this is what it's going to look like. And this is against a young Marlins team. You can't really have these kind of outings when it comes to division play, and especially when it comes up when you have the hottest offense in all of baseball that you're going to have to face in the friendly confines in Chicago. So it's just, what say you? Is there anything I
don't want to belabor any points and be redundant. You guys broke it down pretty well. It's been a disappointing start for Nick. I think he'd be the first to concede that. I know he's talked a lot about working it out with Jose Trevino and trying to work out some of this stuff with him. I don't know what the problem is, but, I think he's been competitive more than he's been non-competitive.
Sure.
He's giving the team a chance to win. It just hasn't been it's been disappointing. It hasn't been what you hoped for.
Yeah, it just hasn't been what he did from August through September of last year.
And maybe that's an unfair standard to hold him to looking back, because he was really lights out.
He was dominant and just getting constant weak contact.
But then he rolls right into a long off season, it's always going to be a long off season when you don't make the playoffs, and to leave off on that point almost seems unfair.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
That's a bad confluence in my mind. Pitcher gets hot for a team that projects to be competitive the next season. He rolls that really strong string of starts into the off season, and then you just have to shut it down because it's the off season, and you're not going to get meaningful reps again until late February.
Yeah.
That's what Nick is. There's every chance he can come back and be a quality starter for this team.
Also, he's got so many different pitches, in his repertoire there. So it takes more time to get enough kind of reps and an experience with those pitches for that year. So, and you take Hunter Green, Latola are just coming off of what previous to today, bad starts.
Yeah.
And then they rebounded very well. Hunter Green did, Latola did. Just phenomenally. So I'm expecting, especially Nick Martinez, to start off the series against the Cards. I'm hoping it's going to be more of the same, where it's going to be more of a statement game for him to show that he can do it and tighten it up a bit. So it's just something else, for what he is, his chemical makeup as a pitcher. It is keeping hitters off balance with a lot of different pitches.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll develop more of it later and get those reps.
Right, but it's also tough to look at him and do what you did last year, where it's we could slide him back into the pen and then bring somebody else up when it's a $25 million price tag.
Yeah.
So that's where you're that's not going to happen. He's just going to have to figure it out as the 3.
You also don't have to force it with him as a starter if you get to that point. And I don't think we're near that point yet. But, there should be help coming. It looks like it won't be Wade Miley as soon as we had hoped.
Nope.
But it looks like they will have options there.
Yeah.
And, again, if this guy is, statistically and end product performance-wise, your 5th starter, even though, I guess that's Abbott.
Sure.
If this is, the low guy on the in the rotation totem pole, it's not bad.
It's not bad. No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying you just want more, right?
He gave us a lot more last year. He's just working through some stuff, and more so than bouncing him back to the bullpen, I would almost rather see them just piggyback him, use him as an opener, get 4 innings, throw Ashcraft in, or someone that just can lock down 2 or 3 innings after that. Suter can do it.
Yeah,
plenty of guys on this roster that can do it.
Absolutely, you just plan for that day until he figures it out. Someone who has figured it out, moving right into Brady Singer. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, no walks, 8 Ks, 11 whiffs. 5 of them on the slider with a 32.1% called strike whiff rate, along with the sinker, which was a 46.9% called strike whiff rate. The cutter is making the difference. He threw it 6 times. This is exactly why the Reds brought him here. 6 innings and then 2 earned runs. But the big thing is quality starts, weak contact. We just didn't expect to get those strikeout numbers.
Yeah.
What has really changed between going from a pitcher's park at Kauffman to now? I know that Lone Depot Park. What a great name. Is more pitcher friendly. That's awful. Hey, let's all get in the car and get excited and go down to Lone Depot Park. Oh man, hey, you want to walk into the debt building?
Yeah.
It's awful.
No, I'm at the 8 dock.
Oh yeah, no, let's go get the 4-pack of tickets and go to Guaranteed Rate Field. Ugh, make me walk into the river.
People, I think, outside of the Cincinnati region who aren't familiar with Great American Insurance at least think like, wow, patriotism. The Great American Ballpark. So if you've never heard of the insurance company, you're thinking the Reds are the most patriotic team in baseball, which they might be anyway.
They could be.
Well, it's an insurance company. It's capitalists.
And they're America's team still. So if they're America's team, they're playing a Great American. Because, the city houses one true Great American. He keeps saying it on the radio. So you got to believe him.
Oh, I got you.
Willie.
Yeah, Willie. But yeah, no, it was just great to see this with Brady. I can't wait to see how it translates when he comes home and it gets a little warmer. Just the cutter, dude. It's just, backing off lefties with that cutter. Just complete game changer. We don't have to really keep getting into it just because we have talked about it every time he does it. And I'm just so excited about it. Just so giddy. Andrew Abbott, 4 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 5 hits, 5 walks, 4 Ks in Colorado. Not going to look into this. We don't really need to talk about it. What needs to happen is the Reds need to get into their hard drives where they have stored all of the data and all of the clips from this start, put it into one smaller hard drive, take that hard drive out, set it on fire, and chuck it into the river. It was drizzling the whole time. It was just a shit game. The game was ass itself. It was awful. So I wouldn't account anything that happened in that game to anything else for him the rest of the season, considering what he did the week before in Baltimore.
Totally agree, man. That game
was
yucky. I'm sure it wasn't fun to play in. So there's nothing you can really build on with those numbers.
The game was so yucky.
Gross.
Ew. It's like a child describing peas.
Yeah, I don't like it.
These snappies are slimy, Mommy. This is what you come here for. Nasty vegetable impressions.
That's what we do, man. We mush them up and spit it in your mouth for you. Gerber's.
The official sponsor of Lone Depot Park. Gross. Hunter Green on Saturday went out there. He had 6 innings. He had 3 earned runs, 7 hits, no walks, but 8 Ks. He's still killing it. Man, Colorado's tough. Those are two home runs is hard, but guess what? The ball flies up there, so you can't knock him for it. But you can say 8 Ks when your slider doesn't move like it normally does. Say when you're close to river level, when you're a mile high. So it's not like he's gonna pitch there again this year. So you chalk it up and you move on.
Dude, forget about this Rocky series in general. Your ace went out and gave you an ace-type outing. And yeah, weird shit happens at Coors Field. It's been the case since it opened 30 years ago, and you don't have to go back there. And you got what you needed out of that series, which was a sweep. And I thought Hunter looked fine.
Hunter looked great.
Loved it, man. Came in, just took what we needed.
Yeah.
Exactly. And left and got out of there.
Get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Just let the offense carry out.
Yeah.
It's if they're hitting like this, enjoy a nice mediocre outing.
Yeah.
And take home that W.
Yeah. I don't have to have my best stuff today.
Yeah.
Because those other 9 dudes have some of their best stuff today. So I don't blame him. And now we get to come home and pitch where you like to, or where you normally pitch. I don't have to say like to pitch. Where you normally pitch. Looking at the pen, Alexis Diaz got shelled in Florida. He just had 3 earned runs, rough outing. But then he had a good one. He settled in against the Rocks. Emilio Pagan gave up a homer on Saturday, but he had 3 saves this week. This rate looking like Alexis Diaz is not taking the closer's job away from Emilio Pagan anytime soon.
No way.
None.
Not until he earns it.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't slot him back there while he's looking like this.
Especially how he showed his ass about how he can't hold runners on. That is,
Yeah.
every team knows that now. So that's a big, big issue. And I don't think Terry Francona likes the idea of having his closer coming in at the ninth, and they're only up by 1 run or 2, and walks the first guy. And it's just a melee after that of people just running the bases.
Yeah. I mean, look, Alexis has been, I feel like we're hanging on to a version of Alexis Diaz that really is not reflective at all of who he is and how he should be viewed. He was an all-star in 23.
Sure.
For a few months of, it's a midseason award, going to the all-star game, and he had a great first half of that season.
Yes.
He struggled in the second half of that season. He struggled all of last year. Didn't show up to spring training prepared. It happened again this year. I think everyone's been pretty open about that. And, this is who the guy is. And I don't think the closer spot is particularly controversial or really even an interesting conversation as it relates to I don't mean, no. I don't want to.
You're bored?
I've had no. I'm not bored with it. It is an interesting conversation because if he was who he could be, if he was who you hoped he would be, this team just sets up so differently. I mean, I think Pagan's been solid.
Yeah.
I think Tony Santian can be a closer when needed. But I think this bullpen would just be so much cooler if those were your your seventh, eighth inning guys, and then you just had a lights out early 2023 version of Alexis Diaz. But that's not what you have.
No,
I don't know if we're ever going to see that again. And people just seem to keep holding out hope. And I think this is what you're going to get from the guy. He's going to be in relatively low leverage situations.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll go well. Sometimes he may even keep you in a game. You might need him in an extra innings game, and he'll deliver for you. Or maybe you get beat in that scenario. But this is Alexis Diaz.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to worry about even considering him as an option at closer until he strings together some solid outings, which he has not been able to do yet.
Yeah. Jake's on Team Ashcraft.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're past the point where we can blame Diaz's struggles on the nagging hamstring injury. At this point, it is purely results based. He's proven that he's healthy and that he just can't pitch right now.
Yeah. He just has zero control.
Yeah.
Because we described his mechanics, and this is a very elaborate, data-based, professional baseball podcast. We compared it to that guy with the piano who smashes the plates, pulls the lever, plays, and all of that machine with the horns and stuff. That is Alexis Diaz's motion. If he forgets to smash a plate or play the horn, and then he's got to play the D flat on the piano, if he misses any part of that, it's all out of whack, and he can't pitch, and he's clearly going through that right now.
Yeah. Look, when I see Emilio Pagan come striding out of the bullpen
I'm
in the
comfortable.
ninth inning, I'm not a fan, but I basically I feel good. I feel I feel like there is a certain level of certainty about what you're going to get from him. Now, that's not to say he hasn't had hiccups along the way this season, but you know what? From what this, when Alexis Diaz, when that issue was really flaring up and you really didn't know what you were going to, everyone's hair was on fire about the closer's role on opening day, and especially after what happened on opening day. But, look at some of the problems that, teams we think are good are having with their bullpens right now. You've generally gotten good end product and good results and good performances from this bullpen, with a couple exceptions.
Yes.
The fact that the Reds don't have a definitive answer at closer, and even though Emilio is starting to look like that answer, the fact that problem exists, you've seen it.
Yeah.
You saw it on opening day. You saw it against the Giants again when they should have swept that series out there.
Ugh.
And then you saw it in the series finale against Seattle before they went on this road trip.
Yep.
But I'm willing to live with that stuff. And Emilio Pagan was on the mound for 2 of those incidents. I'm willing to live with that from him because I trust the guy.
Yep.
He's been there, and I don't think the bullpen is that big of a problem.
It's not a big problem right now, and I agree with you. He's only blown 1 save. He's 5 for 6. Yeah, that's still a pretty good rate. And then you look and you're like, okay, if you want someone that you're playing you're shutting off the lights, you're giving them a walkout song, and shit's blaring in the ballpark, and Red Zilla's leaking oil, all that good stuff. We're sacrificing a goat. All the things you need to have an elite closer. I mean, you kind of got to look, and you're kind of projecting, looking into the future at the deadline. I'm trying to think of like who would even be available to go and get for something like that. Like I'm not going to give up some prospects for Anthony Bender. I mean, who can you, Jake, even think would be? I mean, we're going all the way into July, and that means we are crunching numbers, and we're saying teams that are supposed to fail are failing. That's probably because they don't have a closer. But either way, who would you even have to target in that situation?
I mean, Ryan Helsley will be available.
Yeah.
He's fine, but that's a interdivisional trade, which don't happen all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if things truly go tits up for the Orioles, that would be a nice bullpen to pick apart.
Ooh.
And they would absolutely trade like Yennier Cano. He'd be gone. Probably Felix Bautista.
Ooh, I want Cano.
I'll take either of them. And then outside of that, that's just too early to know which teams are truly going to be ass. It looks like the Royals might have regressed a little bit. That offense is atrocious.
Yeah, go get Urseg.
Yeah. I mean, there will be bullpen arms. There always are.
Yes.
That's the one thing you can count on at the trade deadline.
But it just depends on how much they're asking for and how much you're willing to pay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is the trade deadline that the Guardians finally move on from Clase. He's struggled to start the year. Cade Smith is ready to take over that role. I mean,
Yeah.
Clase is on a peach of a contract.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if he can regain his form, that would be a great addition to the bullpen.
Yeah, Clase's about to be on the Wade Miley Star Trek projection, which is every other year.
Yeah.
Every other movie is good. That's what we compared. It's a pretty good one, right? You like that? It's professional, huh?
No comment.
No comment. Fair enough.
I like Wade. I like Wade.
I like Wade too, which is such a. We'll get to him in a minute. Then we got to look at the lineup and what they did in the batter's box. I Porky pigged it for you guys. In the batter's box and out in the field, we already covered Novi Marte. Let's look at the rest of the boys. Ellie De La Cruz is on an 11-game hit streak, and a 16-game on base streak.
Yeah, dude.
Whoa!
And he's not doing it just like blister. I mean, he's hitting hard shots, but he's lofting balls. He's hitting the opposite way. He's letting the ball travel, and he's being more of a pesky hitter. And it's just like getting him on base is just such a crucial thing to his game and how the Reds end up winning more frequently.
Yeah, he's getting the long counts. And then it's almost like he's slicing a 60 iron or a 60 degree wedge, just drop it in. Oh, like what was that? Was that today or yesterday where it was the third baseman was shifted, the shortstop was shifted, he just hit it right through that gap, right in between both of them. Like, what have you seen with his swing where he's doing this stuff and you're like, wow, how this changed the
Ellie
game?
Mania in 23 when he came up was so insane, so fast. And then, you had a larger body of work to pick apart when he played the full season last year. But we forget how young this guy is, and he's still learning the game, which is crazy to think about because of what he does. But, I think there are a lot of nuances to hitting that he still has time to pick up on this contract while he's in a Reds uniform.
Yes, I want you to stress that enough.
Yeah. He's still learning the game, and it's really cool to watch him blossom.
Oh, he is blooming.
Blooming, thank you.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, he ain't blossomed yet. He ain't no blossom flower.
Nah, get that guy some Miracle Grow. He got work to do. Jake, what have you noticed?
I mean, I think the game is slowing down a bit for him. He had, mentally a rough start to the season. There were a couple errors, completely unforced, and swinging out of his shoes a couple times when he shouldn't have. And this is just, he's looking like a very mature hitter out there.
Yes.
He's letting the game come to him. seems like everything's easy for him right now, taking things nice and slow. And yeah, I mean, I think this is just another step in his, maturation process. He's becoming a big league hitter.
Yeah, something Cowboy said today during the broadcast stood out to me, where he's like, Sadak asked him about the hitting streak, and Cowboy was like, well, he's just seeing them all for the first time this year. Wait till he sees them again. I was like, oh, boy. So if he's just learning, he's like, if I can just hit these guys, see what they're throwing at me, get into these long counts, wait till I see you again back at my place.
I love that folksy Cowboy wisdom.
Dude, that is some wisdom with some Coca-Cola.
He's just whittling the whistle. He gonna come back here and it's gonna be a lot different.
When they come back here, we'll have some ice cold UDF ice cream. And where does it go? Right in the honey hole. Oh man, the best.
I would pay. How much would you pay at auction for a dinner where you're seated at a table with him on one side and John Kruk at the other?
Oh
and
my!
You're just at the head of the table watching them go back and forth.
Oh man, that's true. I'm emptying all my pockets.
Yeah.
That's great. And we're
apparently Kruk went off about a colonoscopy on live air today.
I saw that. Yeah, it was earlier in the week. It was just like, I was talking to Nick Castellanos in the back of the bus. Oh yeah, what'd you guys talk about? Hey, we talked about colonoscopies. I got one coming up, and you're too young for it.
I want that dinner party.
I want it so bad.
I want it.
There's only one place to have that. It's at Montgomery Inn Boathouse, out on the cigar patio, where you're watching Kruk and Cowboy each eat 2 racks of ribs. It's, oh man, sign me up. You know what? Maybe
Sorry, I didn't mean to take us down that road.
No, please do, because I
always get lost in ribs. Anytime food gets brought up, it's always sidetracked, baby.
I started sweating.
Wet naps under here.
Yeah, we got wet naps and we got blue moon cookie dough. Dude, we should set this up. We'll just reach out to Cowboy, Kruk. I don't know. Maybe some people that NBC, Philly. Let's just make this happen. Do a fundraiser.
It shouldn't be hard. They played in the same era. This should be
a piece of cake, and it's a fundraiser for prostate awareness. That the prostate's there, not the cancer. That the prostate is there.
Yeah. We got them. They're prostates. They just cut off vuvuzela tubes or anything.
It's the Right in the Honey Hole Foundation.
Yeah.
You lost me. Oh boy, he's hiding. Well, we lost him. Yeah, man, you knew what you're getting into.
I did.
You did. Come on. I'm sweating thinking about those ribs now.
Oh yeah, baby.
Come on now. Woo! So yeah, Ellie's on an 11-game hit streak. Gavin Lux is on a solid run as well, not just making contact and collecting singles and doubles. He's doing it with men on base. As a matter of fact, this whole team is. I believe that they're second in the National League with runners in scoring position with the batting average.
When you talk about the starters and the bullpen and the way the team's hitting right now, and the fact that they're 15 and 13 and coming back to GAP BP for a 4-game series against a team they should take at least 3 games from, in my opinion, it's almost like we're looking at a
good team.
A good team.
I know.
Wow.
Isn't it crazy when you do all this and you talk it through and you're like, because sometimes we'll start this and we're very pessimistic. It's been a shit week. And then you go through and you go, well, this happened and then this happened. It was just this little mistake. And then you keep going through and you weave through. And by the time we're done, you're going to be like, man, this team's going to win the World Series.
Yeah.
If everyone just stays hot. So Austin Hayes kept a hot bat too. He hit 2 homers this week, 313, 421, 750 with an OPS of 1.171. Spencer Steer's starting to look like himself again this week, 313, 389, 500 with an OPS of 889. You got some guys that are hitting that weren't hitting, and the lineup's getting longer and longer, and there's some pieces coming back, but you're feeling really good about this. Although it's Colorado, and although it's the Fish, you still feel good.
I don't give a damn. They're pros. They're pros. Like I said, it's 17 times already in this episode. Weird shit happens at Coors Field. You got out of there with the sweep. I don't care how it looked. You did it. That was the objective, and you did it. And I always think it's an unfair ask to go into a series expecting or demanding a sweep because the other guys are trying. They are paid to play the game too.
Yeah.
You got to sweep. It was a really good. There's not in no scenario is a sweep ever a bad outcome.
No.
You can't nitpick it.
No, you can't. All right. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do this. I really don't, but we got to talk about it. We teased it earlier. Matt McClain has not looked like himself at the dish this week. 0.048, 130.048. Is he still hurt? Is that what's going on?
I don't know.
Like,
there's got to be some regression from just coming back from his injury and then not getting just up to game speed enough. And so sometimes I feel like maybe it's just like, to use a poor analogy, like gears clicking. Like the gears aren't just syncing up just right. So he's just a bit off. The same way we were seeing, hopefully, in Steer being in the the rear view mirror at this point, hopefully, of how things are starting to get back into gear for him.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's no injury that's still latent there, but I do think it's mostly. I think it's more of a mental thing.
Yeah, I mean, he was off for a hot minute when he was out with that hamstring.
Yeah, and this is a small sample size.
I know.
From coming back, so hopefully it is just a timing issue. It's tough to speculate on players' health, but he doesn't look like he's injured.
No.
Out there. He looks like a healthy ball player, but yeah, it was a bad week for Matty, and I mean, for at least the next week, you just keep running him out there because he's one of our best players. You kind of got to, but we've got another off day next week if he's not back up, and Espinal can go out there. We can give Luck some time there. There's a lot of options until he's back to being himself.
Oh, we don't have an off day this week. We don't have one till...
Give Matt an off day.
Oh.
I'd like to see him get an off day tomorrow. I think just give him another day, give him 2 days back-to-back rest, and plug in the guys that you do have right now. And then maybe that where he gets to sit back, kind of watch the game develop in front of his face, and then maybe generate a bit more of just something to shake it off, throw him off just a little bit, get him out of the ruts that he's going in because it's not the right direction.
Right. What do you think?
I think tomorrow would be a great day to get. And Terry Francona does like to. Well, he usually tries to set these off days up for guys who need it or who look like they need a blow. He tries to set them up around off days, and obviously they don't have one tomorrow.
Yeah.
With the Cards series starting, but I think it's a good day to give him that second day in a row just to watch, hang out, maybe be available to pinch hit off the bench.
Yeah.
Because you're coming down from altitude in Denver. I think tomorrow could be a sluggish day for everyone. And it's a Nick Martinez game, so you don't know what you're going to get there.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the end of the world if they drop that game tomorrow, is basically what I'm getting at.
Sure.
So because they're coming down from Denver and because of the time difference and all of the stuff that goes into playing in Denver.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I think it would be a great day to give Matty Ice a day.
Give him...
Put him on ice.
Put him on ice. Hey, Matty over ice. And, just let him chill, take the day. You don't see them do the Marte thing where if he keeps this up, they send him back to AAA to just be like, get your head right. Get your swing back. Like, we knew that you had the whole year off last year with a shoulder injury. Do you need to just mash a few off the wall? Do you need to put one on 70, 170? Do you need to put one on 75? Do you see that as a possibility, or is it just let him just figure it out?
I was just going to say, I wish I had more inside or information to share with you guys.
Yeah.
This is the tail end. This is the 10th of 10 days that I have not been around the club.
Yeah.
Because my colleague at the Inquirer has been with the team on the road.
Yeah.
So this is the day that you will catch me with the least up-to-date information possible. So
Glad I asked you to come on.
On that note, I'm going to bow out on the Matty Ice conversation.
Fair enough.
Good night, America.
I don't think that he's a guy that you just send down for 1 week's worth of struggles. I mean, he had a great
2
rookie
weeks
year.
at this point.
Yeah, I think you just let him hack it out up here until the absolute bitter end.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're having this same conversation in a month, then it's probably time to send him down. But he started off the season great. He was locked in. Mm-hmm. That was not even a month ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the talent is still there to the point where I doubt that they are even questioning sending him down.
And if we gave Steer the bandwidth too to kind of hack it out.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah.
Man, was that a tenuous proposition, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it was part of the reason they probably dropped some of those games early on that they would have been nice to have in the bag during this, what I think is like a soft portion of the schedule. So, man, I think it's worth underscoring. That's a really good point, Chris. Like, you ate it with Spencer for so long. You know, Maddie has shown signs of life already. If you're going to let Spencer Steer work through it, maybe against your better judgment in some cases. I mean, that conversation came down to the morning of opening day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Terry Francona spoke about that before the game. So, if you went to those lengths with Spencer, I think Maddie is not a threat, not in danger of being sent down anytime soon.
Yeah, and Spencer, it seems like he's uncorked whatever was in that shoulder. Like it's he's good now.
Totally,
he's good. So
and I think I heard that the talk out of it was probably by the time they got to Denver, but I think it was on this road trip that he was able to start playing in the field defensively. That was a big boost for him.
Yes.
You know, that was a big turning point mentally, I think, where I don't know him well, obviously, at this stage in my young baseball writing career, but I imagine he didn't feel like a full contributing member of the team, not being able to play play first base. Now that he's out there, I think Terry Francona spoke about how much of a boost that was to him, and I think that's been a factor in seeing his hitting numbers spike a little bit.
Sure, I mean, you saw I think Terry said something along the lines of, hey, you can go out into the field and you can process and just forget about your AB that you had that was terrible.
Yeah, right.
And then you can, instead of just sitting there stewing at it until you hit again.
Yeah.
So that's helped him mentally. I would hate that.
Yeah,
I hate it so much.
If you take a golden sombrero and like that's all you've got to contribute when you're at the plate, and you just have to rest your head on the hotel pillow that night or your own place, and like that's all you were able to bring to the table. Well, no, you can go out in the next half inning and use your glove to contribute.
Yeah. Someone who can't contribute on or off the field.
I just broke down the basics of how baseball is played.
Yeah, and we just let it happen for you, pal.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, dude, we just let you say it to the mic, and we're like, we agree with you.
This will be my last appearance on the new Nasty Boys.
Oh, no. Hey,
now that we see what I bring to the table.
You bring a lot to the table here, okay? And so you're gonna come back whether you like it or not. We're just gonna call you at some point with this plugged in and be like, hey, we need to know this. Someone who's not contributing on the field or off the field, Candyman, blast him into the sun. I'm sorry, you have to be next to me when I say that, but I'm not even worried about the money anymore. I'm just worried about the roster spot. I know how much longer, like a month? Do you give him another month of this? Where it's just like, yeah, you hit 2 homers this month.
I mean, they let him eat shit all season last year, so.
Yeah. I think once Matt McClain gets right and Spencer Steer gets right, I think the rope will have gone on probably long enough to the Candy experiment to see if it will bring any fruition to positive ABs. It's one thing if he would be able to put together good at-bats, have a decent on-base percentage, but when there's nothing there and it's just a big lack of production, and if you are genuinely trying to compete to win the division this year, he can't be a part of it if he continues to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm rooting for him.
We all are.
We want to see him succeed. We want to see him do well, and that is a big contract. But beyond that, just talking about producing wins, he's not contributing.
Pat.
Well, I think you can get used to him for at least the foreseeable future. The Reds are going to have to run him out there because this isn't a team that can. I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything revolutionary here or introducing anything new to the conversation by suggesting or stating that the Reds just aren't a team that's in a position to eat salary like that. Terry Francona had the luxury in Boston and, even Cleveland a little bit. You could dispatch a guy if he had, if Terry felt like, and the GMs at those places felt like the situation had truly run its course. I just don't think the Reds are in that position financially.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Jake, you were gearing up.
It was pretty much exactly that. Of just they're not going. There's nothing that they can do about this contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing until the end of this year. Well, the end of 2026.
Yeah.
And frankly, like I know it's not ideal. You can, and I know he played today against the Rocks.
Did he? No, I'm kidding.
He
participated.
It's not always going to be. It's not always going to be like this when you jump on the pitcher early and put up 7 runs or whatever it ends up being.
Right.
But you could hide him on a day like today, and that's not a good answer to the problem. It's not. I get that.
Yeah.
But look, we talked about how many more bats you feel comfortable with in this lineup, and those have grown with Candyman still in the picture. Like the depth of this batting order and the length of it has grown as he's been here.
Yeah.
So I think just the longer it gets and the more you start to see out of some of these other guys, and we still have Tyler Stevenson.
Oh yeah, we do.
So and there are other pieces that could come into the picture here. So you can't afford to carry. No team, just as a general rule, can afford to carry dead weight. But
right.
I think this is something. Like I said, I think we can get used to seeing him occasionally.
Yeah, he's just going to be getting the same amount of playing time as Santiago Espinal, just at a different rate, a much different rate. Let's take a trip down south. Let's do that. Chase Burns made his first start in Double-A. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. Boy, howdy! Did you see those 5 Ks?
Yeah, he's filthy.
He's so gross. And they were all. It looked like they were all fastballs. Or was there one slider?
No, I think there was a slider.
Okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah. I'm not surprised that he's down there able to just light up Double-A.
Yeah, you kind of want to see a little bit more length. What do you say? What do you say when you go, okay, what's the next step for him? So it's what? He's got to get through 5 innings?
Yeah, he might not go longer than 5 this whole season. He still has to build up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know how deep I want to see him pitching in games.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd rather, just take a nice steady progression for total innings pitched. And if you keep that number down, that's a higher likelihood that we see him for a playoff push.
Yeah. I was about to say, how many more times does he do this in Double-A before you go, you know what? Come on, buddy.
I mean, yeah. Who do you bounce from the rotation at this point?
Bingo.
And also, I would have to say that Rhett Lauder, I mean, not pitching yet, but I would say that Rhett Lauder probably gets back on the bump and is called up before Chase Burns.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And Chase Petty is probably higher on the pecking order.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That is exactly who I was going to bring up next, unless you had something, Al, you wanted to add.
No, I was going to say, too, as far as the packing order goes, I think they wouldn't want to disrupt that order. So, yeah, Rhett Lauder, we still got some more pitchers in the chamber before Chase Burns, which feels so good to say.
Just want to let you guys know that I hit the corner of the bar here, and when I brought my hand up, and now I'm on the 7-day IL.
We're never doing 4 wide again because that pushed you out.
Oh, brother.
That pushed you out here, which left you prone to catching the corner there.
That's true, but
so we're never doing 4 wide again.
Brother, whenever
and
I'm
that means I'm the odd man out. So I was right. I will never be back on this
you
show.
liar. Get out of here. And by the way, whenever I'm on anyway, it's always 4 wide. You know what I mean? Come on. We're hefty. We're dumping. Chase Petty also dumping out there. Transitions are awesome. Chase Petty lit it out there. 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 walks, 7 Ks. So, like you said, I think Chase Petty's above on that pecking order. It also just depends on when Rhett Lauder gets that throwing program started. I guess he had a bullpen on the 26th. Did you not hear anything about the? Because I know you're at the
bullpen on the 26th of April.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Duh.
No, I would not have a ton to add there, but I would like to add something about Chase Petty. He was kind of the ascending young arm in spring training and out in Goodyear that I thought was the most promising.
Whoa.
And I'm basing that on 1 outing, which isn't a great sample size, but it just showed me the stones this guy had. And it was It was a busy night at Camelback Ranch where the Dodgers, and I think they share a facility with the White Sox.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's the Dodgers facility. And he went and started against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. This was also the night that Roki Sasaki made his debut on U.S. soil. By the way, fun trivia. Who is the first player to get a hit off of Roki Sasaki on U.S. soil?
Ooh, was it Ellie De La Cruz?
No. Everyone gets a guess.
Austin wins.
Chris?
I'm going to go with Trevino.
It was Austin Wins.
He's doing everything.
Yeah,
Right. And also, that got me high off Austin Wins, too. But no, Chase Petty went out against an A-list Dodgers lineup that night with all the craziness kind of circling around the two Japanese pitchers and really, really looked great. Now, obviously, maybe they hadn't seen him before. I'm sure there's not a lot of study that goes into a meaningless spring training game.
Yeah.
But studying the pitchers, But I just think the world of Chase Petty.
Yeah.
He's a kid who gets it too, and that's like a cliche way to say that he's smart, but he really does get it, and he's humble. I can't wait to see him in the big leagues.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of talent brewing down there, man. Yeah. And a lot to pick from, and a lot where you're like, you know what, we got some guys underneath that we could stack together and go trade for that elite closer. Or a big bat, like a bigger bat. Like a way bigger one.
Like a torpedo bat?
Yeah.
Well, you already got torpedo bats.
Oh, they've had them. Oh, yeah. So what? You got Lux using it. You got Ellie using it.
Trevino's
using
I think
it.
Wins has them.
Oh, yeah. That's
That
how
makes sense.
Yeah, checks out.
Where would you put a big... Oh, we don't have to talk about it now.
We'll talk about it later.
All right.
And then you you look at we have plenty of season is what I'm saying, buddy, to talk about where you would
That's not
stick
what
a
you
big
meant.
bat. Okay. Well, I was just trying to save you there. I tried to give you an out, but you didn't let me you didn't let me give you the flotation device. Let's look at the boys who are hurt. Ian Jabot put on the IL with a right shoulder impingement. He'll be back sometime around mid-May. Lyon Richardson came right up and threw the ball today. That's what he did. But Sam Maul threw 2 innings this week. He should be back this week, so which means Lyon Richardson's going to go right back down, and Sam Maul's coming right back up. Is that a proper assessment there?
Yeah, it would seem so.
Can I just make a comment on the verbiage of what we've been calling some of these these nebulous terms we use to describe injuries?
Sure.
Impingement.
Yeah.
That's for my sports vernacular, and I write about sports.
Yeah.
That's a fun new vagary to obscure specifics about. You know what I mean?
Well, he's impinged.
Right. But it just feels like,
It's no longer just impingement translates from Latin to phantom IL stint. I don't know if you do that. That's the Greek meaning.
Yeah. Like a bruise, but not real.
Right, but no. But I get it. I get that part of it. But in the case, that's not the case with Ian Jabot here.
Right, but if you look at the case with Carson Spires,
Yes.
you say Spears, his impingement, it's like he's going to be out 6 weeks.
Right.
So
it's and then you do have IL. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I'm bailing out of this conversation.
Okay, that's fine.
And I wish I hadn't started it.
Star spectrum. Just keep that in mind.
Yes, that's a beautiful way to put it. Some people just get a little pinch.
It's a vagary. It's a vagary, and you can hide things in it.
Yeah.
You can hide things in language, and I don't like when sports teams do that. Impingement is the latest addition to my personal vernacular of that.
And I agree, because we didn't see that a whole lot last year when we were looking at, or the year before. It's just, You are right. This is the new smoke screen.
Like lower body, upper body. You know,
right.
But that's a big area. Both of those are big areas.
His head?
Yeah.
His wrist?
Yeah.
Tell us?
It's actually the whole left side of his body.
Yeah.
He's got the weeble wobbles. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you're gonna see this, and baseball has always been about the Phantom IL and trying to get people. So like, yeah,
and it's possible that Terry Francona shed light on what that actually was.
I
think Ian Jabot has been pretty solid.
I love Etain.
You know, he's got the baggage of opening day, and that for the casual fan in Cincinnati, like that really sticks. But for people who are like locked in on a day-to-day basis, I think Jabot's been great. And I asked Terry about that, like, you know. That just because he was, you know, Terry doesn't really look back at anything from a day ago and much less weeks ago. But, you know, I thought it's really impressive because opening day is different here than it is in other cities. And, you know, for someone who didn't have, if a pitcher had less mental fortitude, you know, you could have seen the person in Ian Jabot's shoes just totally folded up that day. And, you know, you just could have seen it going sideways at that point for the person in his position. I remain very impressed with how he rebounded from that whole thing.
Same. I've always loved Ian. And when you asked Terry that question, did you preface it by saying, "Back it up, Terry. Remember opening day?"
Nope. I sure did.
Okay. Just keep that for the future.
There's a certain way to speak with Terry Francona. Of course. That is not happening.
Okay, good. Okay, because that's what I would do, and that's why I'm here and you're in there. Okay. Yeah. But no, I've agreed. I've been impressed with Ian. We've all been impressed with Ian.
Absolutely.
He's one of our boys we're always rooting for. And whenever you hear someone scream Etain in the ballpark, it's because he's out there and I'm in there.
Cool. Yeah, we're all Jabot. Well, I'm glad I'm late to the party on Jabot.
There you go.
I just added to a conversation you guys probably had 3 episodes ago.
Not true. No, we haven't talked about Etain in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah,
I think since he blew it on opening day. So it's nice to come back with some positives.
Right. Yeah, it's positive. Well, I kept saying, like, oh, he's rebounding, but it was very light. It was just a touch-and-go situation. Very touch-and-go. Okay, we talked about Rhett. We haven't heard anything yet about his stuff on Saturday. CES got an epidural. They're seeing if it's going to take or not for his lower back injury, and then if it doesn't take, they're hitting him with it again. They're like, we'll see what good, and then just hit him again. And they're just going to keep doing this. He's going to keep being out for at least 2 weeks at a time when they continue to figure out this lower back issue. I'd rather them just have him get right because again, you're running out of spots.
Yeah, why do they think about that? Why don't they just make him get right? Just make him right. Just get him right.
Just get him right. I mean, look, it's like we said, there's a difference between this regime this year and last year where we have to say, let him wait, you know?
I think it's a depth thing too. Like you can't afford, especially at this point in the season, you cannot afford to roll any of these guys out there and just on a whim risk making it so much worse. If you get to September and you're lacking bodies and like Will Benson is a mainstay in the starting lineup, like then that's just you're in September and you just luck didn't go your way on the injury front, but Terry Francona is not going to manage this team, and that's not to pick on Will Benson. I'm just throwing out the name of a guy who's down in AAA right now and figures to be back with this club at some points along the way. Terry is not going to manage this team into a spot where you lose big pieces just to get a game in April out of them. You don't have the depth. And even as this lineup lengthens out, you just don't have the depth to risk it.
Right.
Couldn't agree more.
There we go. He's been a little quiet. I wanted to check in on him. Like, you okay back there?
I feel like I'm trampling on your role here.
No, not at all. I'm here to have fun, and I'm having a great fucking time.
Yeah, there we go. Wade Miley, the comeback tour has come to a halt, not because of his shoulder or elbow, but because of a, quote, lower body issue. You called it earlier, and it's just he's going to have an MRI tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't lay him too long so he can get back at it to add to that pitching depth. But lower body issue, no clue. Maybe it's just he tweaked something and he threw 10 pitches.
He stubbed his toe in his apartment,
Could have shit his pants.
What?
It's a lower body injury.
That truly is a lower body issue.
You could call that an impingement.
It didn't pinch the right way, and it just got just.
I had to go pinful. Oh god.
Some impingements running down the back of my leg.
So fired by the morning.
It's dragged out.
Fired by Tuesday morning.
Oh, don't worry, you're not getting fired. You got to do this a couple more times first.
This isn't even on. Don't worry.
Yeah. I don't even think I'm actually recording. Oh no, I'm sorry. We are recording. Yeah, no, I gotta put it out, or else Ryan Geist,
That's all right.
or else Ryan Geist takes
you
my
got a
firstborn.
sponsorship deal.
Yeah. I gotta live up to that. Here's something interesting that is important to something that we talked about earlier. Tyler Stevenson started his rehab stint in Louisville. Hit a dong. There was an incident with the rain out on Friday, so they had a double downer on Saturday. DH'd in one, caught in one, then caught again today. Hit one oppo. He says he needs one more series in Memphis, so he's going to go down, hang out with
that,
them.
by the way. I love that.
Yeah?
Because, some of these guys, like Spencer Steer just seemed so determined to not go on the IL for the first time in his career. And I love that grit. Like, you love that passion and drive. But some of these guys, will draw a line in the, and I'm not saying Spencer specifically drew a line in the sand with anyone. I'm not suggesting that at all. But some of these guys will, take the first opportunity to come back from a minor league rehab assignment, and do so at their own, to a detrimental cost. You know what I mean? So the fact that Stevenson called his own number here and said, "Hey, I'm not ready," that just oozes really rad professionalism to me. And
I agree.
This is not someone who's going to come back and disrupt what has generally been a winning situation for this team the last couple weeks.
Yeah. What say you?
I agree. I mean, it shows a lot of leadership, too.
Yeah.
Even when he's not on the ball club, he wants the ball club to win, and he's going to do whatever he can to put him in that situation.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, too. You got him coming back, so we'll say he comes back end of the week. Okay.
I know where this is going.
Are we going to carry 3 catchers?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Obviously, like I said, I haven't been around the team for 10 days. But.
Dunn goes down, wins stays.
Yeah, I can see that happening. And just, too, again, you don't know what's going to happen day to day with a handful of these players.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make an argument against sending down any of the 2 catchers that we have currently. So Dunn does seem to be the odd man out, especially too with the way some of these utility guys can play infield or outfield.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be a 3-catcher squad.
Yes, our dream. I love it, baby. Back stops. We got Wheels out there. That's Jose Trevino's nickname. I don't know if you knew that, but Wheels.
Who actually moves pretty well for a catcher.
I know.
Surprisingly fast.
I think it was Sadak or Jeff Brantley that pointed that out as he was hoofing out a ground out. He was running down hard to first base. He moves pretty well for a catcher.
Yeah, he does. That's why he's nicknamed Wheels. Okay?
I get it.
Wheels
and that's
Trevino.
why I added on to your comment about his nickname being
that's
Wheels.
what I'm talking about. Podcaster. Yeah. Sweaty. Woo. But yeah, dude. Oh, dude, that was a clean remount right there.
Well done.
So we got Wins, you got Trevino, you got Tyler. Let Tyler DH2, rotate him in and out, and let Candyman rot at the end of the bench. So we'll see what happens. You got, to end out the month of April, you got 3 against the Cards, and then May starts. You got Nick Martinez tomorrow against, I always forget it, Palante. The Palante of time to say it.
Excuse you.
And then Michaelis versus Singer. That should be a real fast game.
It's a good matchup.
It's a great matchup.
I'm stoked for that one.
I'm really stoked for that one. I'm just
3, 2, 1 Tuesdays.
That's what I'm talking
What
about.
a killer night out for Cincinnati Reds fans.
Yeah, I'm only going to be able to have 5 hot dogs because of how fast that game is moving.
Quick. Yeah.
Yeah. So a good 3-2-1, and then Wednesday you got Matt's Abbott, which that sounds like a great law firm. Matt,
Keep you in the zone.
and then you figure out if you're gonna split, you're gonna take 3, you're gonna take the whole damn thing. Matthew Liberatore versus Hunter Green. Then you welcome the Nationals, who are playing a lot better ball, man. And there was someone I liked. We talked about at the beginning of the year that I'm like, I like him. I love Mackenzie Gore. I've always been a Mackenzie Gore guy, but good God, whoa.
It'd be nice if we can avoid him this weekend.
Let me. No. Yes, we are going to avoid him because he starts Tuesday, I think.
Oh, well, then we might get him.
We might get him.
Have an off day or not.
Dang.
Well, either way.
We'll
just beat the shit out of him anyway.
Yeah, I got.
The easiest thing. Just beat the shit out.
Just beat the shit. Who cares? Just get him. He's a big lefty. So, I mean, he's only had one outing where he had 14 strikeouts.
Yeah.
He's gnarly. But that series, you got Lodolo, Martinez, and Singer. Let's look at May. Okay? This month has been shaping up to look pretty easy. When we started looking at it in April and we kind of peeked ahead, we were like, oh man, that's not as easy as a month. Now it's looking a lot easier.
Yeah.
The Braves are not getting it together.
Well, they're kind of back. I mean, no one thought they were going to be like on the 120 loss pace that they started the season on, but they're like back to hovering around 500. So like they're decent.
Yeah.
It's not the step over that it looked like it could have been.
Sure.
Week 1.
But you want to go down there.
I mean, they won't have Acuna or Strider for
Yeah.
that series.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice.
Yeah, I'd rather play him now than later.
Same. And I was thinking the
Yeah,
same thing.
for
Just
sure.
get it out of the way. Hopefully you can split, and then you go down to Houston, which they're not good. I mean, what? 100 Brown's the highlight?
Yeah. That's about all.
It's about it. Isak Paredes hasn't put it all together yet. Christian Walker hasn't put it together yet.
I mean, it's just a fine lineup. It does not strike fear into you.
No. There are so many other teams better in the NL West.
Yeah.
It's good to see that the armor has finally rusted. But if you feel good about going into that series, then you have that off day. And then you got 3 at home against the White Sox.
Yay.
Man, I think they'll run out of fireworks by Wednesday evening.
Gonna have to bring the barge in.
And then you got 3 at home against the Guards, which, they're always pesky. It does not matter what their record is. They find a way to split.
It's the Ohio Cup.
It's a big deal.
The passion of the Ohio Cup. The tradition.
A tradition unlike no other,
Yeah.
the Ohio Cup. And then 3 at Pittsburgh. Wow, they're just bad. And then off day, and then 3 at Chicago, 3 at home against the Cubbies. That series is going to be awesome.
Yeah, dude. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That'll be one of the first times they really. I mean, besides starting off with the Cardinals, we're gonna be playing in the division here against the Cubs, and I just think that's gonna be an electric time when we really get to see okay, how is the dust starting to settle?
Yeah.
Right now in the Central.
Yeah. Follow that with going to KC for 3 off day, and then 3 at Chicago to end May into June. You're going to see the Cubs. Will that offense still be the highest scoring offense in all of baseball against starting rotation that is top 5 in Major League Baseball, top 3 in the National League, where you're going to see 2 strengths go right up against each other when it's starting to warm up and the balls are starting to fly.
You can see some real fireworks in those 2 Cubs series. 2 teams that figure to be at each other's throats in this division, and the series separated by 1 week. I just love the proximity of that.
Yeah.
Could be really, really fun. Not just here, which I agree with. That'll be awesome.
Insane.
Great scenes with the way their fans travel here, and hopefully for Reds fans, they do well and can have bragging rights.
Yes.
But then to go back to Wrigley a week later, that's just really solid.
I don't know if I like that or I hate it because then you just saw them, so you don't get time makes the heart grow fonder, and that also comes to play with your rivals.
Yeah.
Jake, what do you think?
I mean, we'll probably get some national coverage with those back-to-back weekend series,
Yeah.
especially the Saturday games.
Yeah.
Can we get a Sunday night game in Cincinnati for the love of God?
It's the reason why they got shut. They got shut out at ESPN is because it seems like they just are just like, wait, what same 5 markets are we going to rotate?
You know, you'll get. I would have thought that an in-game interview with Tito would have been enough to lure them here, especially if the Reds are like competitive,
right? Which they haven't announced the second half schedule yet.
Yeah.
That can always change and it can be flexed. But right now you're looking at it's like, oh, cool. Phillies, Dodgers again.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
neat.
Once is enough.
I'm good. Dodgers, Red Sox. Oh, so cool. So this month is shaping up to look like the Reds can get some separation here.
Can I tell you something,
Please.
though? I think with this Cubs series at the end of May, the Reds have a month, a calendar month, to make hay, because I think it really starts to pick up here with this series at Chicago.
Yeah.
And then you're really going to get into the meat of this schedule, and you're going to start to see some heavyweight. Yeah, can we pull that up?
Yeah, I don't mind pulling up June.
I think we have the Yankees in June.
Yeah. The June into July. There are like some series you feel okay about, but Brewers, D-backs at Cleveland, Tiger. Okay, there's a couple series in here that you feel good about.
I mean, the Tigers are playing great right now.
But I mean, the Cardinals. Yankees, Pods.
Twins are starting to get it together.
Look at this lineup. This run in to the All-Star break. Part of it. Yankees at home, Padres at home, at the Red Sox. Then you are at the Phillies. And then Marlins and Rockies at home to close it out before the All-Star game. It's a
stretch.
That's a tough run in.
Yeah, that's a stretch. And then you go into, then it's a little bit of it's not that much of a cool down in August.
No.
And that's what we talked about, the importance of stacking wins at the beginning of the season, getting off to the hot start.
Yeah.
September's not terrible. It's still not an easy month. You have the Cubs at home, you've got the Pirates at home, and then you close it out with the Brewers at home. There's a lot of division play stuff towards the back end, but May and April are where you need to make your nut to build up a little bit of wiggle room.
Which, like, normally you would say, like, it's okay to tread water in April and come out of it 500, and they're a little bit above 500 right at 15 and 13. But like with the way this schedule sets up, I think you really need to, like, it's not unreasonable to say 3 out of 4. It wasn't unreasonable this weekend to say sweep the Rockies.
Yes.
And it's not unreasonable this week to say 3 out of 4 against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
When it's just not, because if this team is going to be in contention for anything going into, some of these this backloaded schedule they seem to have.
Yeah.
This is when you have to win.
Yeah, you can only drop one of the Pirates in late May. Like, that's just the way you have to look at it when you're looking at the grand scheme of it. But I'm not in the clubhouse. I'm not walking in and they don't have a big ass calendar. That's trademark. That's what it's called. Big ass calendar for the whole year with every game on it. I don't see them looking at it that way.
They would say we want to win tomorrow.
We want to win tomorrow against whoever they're playing. What say you boys?
Man, I am excited that especially looking back in previous years, that the Reds are above 500 at this point by a couple games, and we still got 3 games left that are all totally winnable. So I do like that we are separating ourselves from previous years with that. And yeah, I agree that it's going to get really tricky into these other months here when you're going to be playing a lot more competitive teams. So yeah, stack up the wins now when they're a lot more obtainable, and hopefully you can get on a roll to where, coming down the stretch, you aren't treading water. You're going to be the top 1-2 team, in the division here, to where it's going to, you got so many division games coming up at the end. Just keep playing good ball and just keep putting together wins, because there's still a lot of baseball left to play.
One thing that I like looking at this is all through the summer. I mean, it looks like this was our last West Coast road trip until August.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
I think this was the longest road trip.
There was one at the very end with the Padres A's, and then someone else. It was all on the road.
Oh, here we go. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, August 18th.
That's a brutal one.
Yeah, that one's rough. Three at the Angels. But hold on. Why is this like this? 3 at the Angels off day, and then 3 at Arizona, and then they have to get on a plane that night and go back to Los Angeles?
Travel for travel's sake.
Fucking flip that, computer. You know who would have missed that? Is that lovely couple who made the schedule for over 30 years. They would have caught that. They'd be like, oh, yeah, we can connect Los Angeles, Los Angeles. That's foolish.
Stay in the same hotel
Exactly.
for a week.
Yeah, and then just Uber air them over in the helicopters.
What do they think? Everyone...
You can say it.
No, I can't.
Okay, we'll wait till the... We'll save it for the Patreon, everybody.
Yeah. Save it for the Patreon.
Which we don't have set up. So we don't... we have it, but I haven't done
Do you
anything.
guys want to do a live...
What was all that foot stuff?
I guess a live scoring update, in-game update isn't going to have a shelf life for this show, is it?
Cubs and Phillies are tied 1-1, top 10.
Looks like, if I'm reading that, do the Phillies have the bases loaded?
It looks like it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So
Let's-
I mean, if the Cubs were to lose this game, you go into this week a game and a half back. That's a pretty good setup.
Yeah.
That's where I think that is a reasonable spot to. You can feel good about that if you're a Reds fan.
I'm feeling good about where they are.
But wasn't it 5 games like not long ago?
Yes.
And I know it's early in the season and all that crap, but again, going back to the schedule, the Cubs have been playing like decent quality teams.
Yeah.
And they've been more than treading water with that. So I think the fear was if they come out of that piece of the schedule with a healthy lead in the division, and the Reds weren't able to keep pace in a meaningful way, even if it's just 5 games over 1 month, though, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
And, that didn't figure to math out well.
Right.
But if worst case scenario, the Reds are going to wake up. Yeah, Phillies are now leading in the 10th against the Cubs. So that would figure to make it. Now, the Phillies have a terrible bullpen, but
so do the Cubs.
But and I guess we're seeing that. So this game might not be close to being over.
No,
but look, worst case scenario, we wake up tomorrow with the game against the Cards on deck, and the Reds will be no worse than 2 games back.
Yeah.
Or 2.5.
2.5. That's exactly where you want to. That's fine. That's where it's okay to be there.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't have all of the bullets in the chamber.
Yeah.
Or the clip or whatever guns. And wait till Tyler Stevenson comes back.
Yeah.
So let's round third and head for home. Chris, what do you want to blast off there, pal?
I do got some dates coming up here. May 9th through 10th, I'll be in Bloomington, Indiana at the Comedy Attic. Whoop.
Nice.
May 15th, I will be in Louisville at Gravely Brewing. That's typically a really fun show. Come on out to that. And then on the 17th, I will be here for the Shelter Me show where we raise money for some dogs. It's for Cincinnati Animal Shelter. It's going to be at the Urban Artifact on the 17th, and also Louisville. I'll be back there again 22nd through 24th at the Louisville Comedy Club. So come on out, check that stuff out, please.
Please. Jake, what do you want to plug, pal?
Drink Cincy Light.
The best plug. Pat, give us all your plugs.
Hey, you can read my work on Cincinnati.com. Love it when you subscribe. That's always cool. But I'll be at GABP this week. And, ain't hard to find.
Yeah.
Cash me outside the press box, in the press box.
Cash me in the press box.
But I like to make the rounds.
Yeah, you do.
During the ball game. I'll come and say hello.
You'll be at the UDF station. Tall boy. I'll be right there with you.
Yeah, dude. We'll just be...
Absolutely. But actually, in terms of the map of the ballpark, Bad Tom Smith is more convenient for...
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Chugging a sneaky pint.
Cheeky
little pint.
Cheeky pint. And then your podcast with Gordon.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the reminder, dude.
Yeah.
The Big Pod Machine. We have a big milestone coming up. So the origin story of this is that Gordon Wittenmeyer, our lead Cincinnati Reds beat writer at Cincinnati.com and The Inquirer, tried to do this podcast, launched it with Jason Williams, I think back in 2023. Those guys actually have a long history that goes back to them being on the Minnesota Twins beat together decades ago when Ron Gardenhire was the manager there.
Okay.
And before that, whoever was before Gardenhire.
That's late 90s.
But those guys, Gordon and Jason Williams, who I love, they put out 3 episodes of the Big Pod Machine before it just kind of fizzled out. And then Gordon and I were in an Airbnb together for 24, 25 nights out in Goodyear in spring training. And I guess my youthful enthusiasm just got him all worked up and agitated to want to give this Big Pod Machine another go.
Whoa.
And we are going to eclipse his and Jason Williams' 3-episode total with our 4th of the... Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Huge.
I am the luckiest man. No, it's fun. Gordon and I have good banter. And yeah, it's the Big Pod Machine. You can watch it on our website, but you can listen to it wherever you find podcasts.
Right on.
So thanks, dude.
Of course.
Appreciate that.
We'll have to get Gordon down here, see if he likes the fart dunge.
Yeah, dude. I would love to get him into the dunge.
Oh, there we go.
We'd love to have him.
Yeah, we'd like to see him help us take out some of this copper.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of spots out there we can't really dig into yet. We need some more meat power down here.
Yep.
Okay? More tongues licking spots.
We need a real professional. Oh, man. Plugs on my end. May 17th, you'll be able to see me at The Comet. It's called The Drinking Show. It's a...
Very fitting for the Comet.
It's very fitting. And for me, pal. Let's not beat around the bush, okay? Let's lean into it, okay? Okay? It's a game with I guess, the crowd. There's crowd involvement. We drink a lot. I tell jokes. Come to it. I'll have more next week about it. So let's thank some folks. Thanks to Sports Drink for hosting the audio of this podcast. InTheClutch.com, promo code NastyBoys, 10% off. We put up some pretty rad stuff. Boom. Cincy Light. Drink it up. Cincy Light, the taste of Cincinnati. The taste of all Cincinnati daddies is Cincy Light. Drink it up. And thank you for being here, buddy. Look at this.
Dude, it was my freaking pleasure.
Look.
I really hope I didn't step on too many toes and talk too much.
Oh my gosh, no.
Anyone who's ever heard me on the radio, and I have no ego. In fact, I criticize myself a lot. And I know for a fact that I talk for too long when I'm on the radio. And those guys are under real time crunches with like timers counting down in their studios. And I just decimate their schedule blocks and I just go steaming through commercial breaks. Like I am a demolition.
Guess what?
I don't want to use the word I actually want to use. I terrorize.
That's fine.
Those shows.
There you go. You can use that one. And
I can use that one.
You can use that one. And you know what? There's no time limit or time minimum. You know, there's no max, there's no min.
Thanks for sharing space with me.
Always. I will always share a safe space with you,
We went
pal.
4 wide.
We did. We went 4 wide. I love it. And I feel that we went 4 wide. Fart Dunge, this is great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Anytime. I'm so stoked to have the dudes back down here. You know?
Yeah.
Dudes with
microphones. Uh-oh.
We're the authority.
Uh-oh. This is problematic. Okay. So, thank you for watching and or listening. And as always, go Red Legs.
Go Red Legs.
Go Red Legs.
Do I say it?
You got it, buddy.
You did it.
Go Red Legs.